Right.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
Have you heard that saying before?
Sure.
And so you're starting with the guise of, I care about other things. One of the things I care about is people, right? But I also care about my Harley Davidson. I also care about my branding and image. I care if you're going through a divorce. I don't need to talk to you about real estate yet. I just joined this group, and I've got other people who are going through a similar thing. So you're connecting people at a very high level at whatever point of life that they are. And then, oh, by the way, I'm a real estate agent.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Turn it up, turn it up.
Welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach Podcast.
The tides are turning. The time is now.
Your home for the mindset, methodology, and tools needed to invest in foreclosures.
Don't you dare buy a house, buy a deal. You need to get into this right now.
Right now, yeah.
And now your host, the Foreclosure Deals Coach, Donny Coram.
And it's what I love about you. From day one, that you're authentically you, and a lot of people can't handle you, but that's okay because you're not the people you want to work with, right?
Right.
You're looking for the people who are at, with, above, close to your level. But if they just want to be that different class or different type of person, good for them. But you're making money, so what do you care what they think about you, right? It's
I don't know.
A whole different game. So I need you guys to hear that, okay? You get into real estate, and there's this persona that's supposed to come with it. Now, don't get it twisted. You got to maintain some degree of professional demeanor when it's appropriate. The problem is a lot of people can't switch back. Matt does it all the time. I've seen super hyper professional, I'm here to close a deal, Matt, and I've seen I'm here to party, Matt. I love both of them, but the fact is you can do both extremely well. Right.
And I think that's important, and people I don't know, like I said, and now more approach. They'll say, your message is constantly positive. And I try to stay on a positive message. Yes. I stay away from politics. I think it's important to, granted, I have some secret groups and stuff like that. And because I don't like the governor here and all that shit, but
don't get started there.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there for you guys and all that stuff. Right. But so in my mainstream profile is it's pretty positive on a regular basis, unless somebody might, for the most part, I stay positive for the most part. And I've also learned the best thing you can have inside of social media is some trolls. Yes. I love haters, when people say some shit. I think it's fucking funny.
Hell yeah.
Right.
If you don't have haters, you're not going to the, you look at these guys like, what's that, Selling Sunset?
Right.
That show on like Netflix.
Killer
Those
show.
people got mad haters. They got more haters.
I love them to death.
I love them. Right? Because they created this image where you have to hate them. They're gorgeous people. They're selling gorgeous houses, right? The reason we're changing the game is here in our local Colorado Springs market. I think we have as many people who adore us as can't stand us.
Right. Well, I have a whole lot of friends. It's not like I sit there and I'm worried about what I'm doing or anything else like that. And that's not being arrogant. No. I always laugh, like Tom Brady. People hate Tom Brady. I'm like, how do you hate that man? That dude has a supermodel wife that he's technically the trophy husband. She's walking out in her diamond panties and bra and everything. You're over there hating that man. I'm sitting there, let me clap for that man.
Yes.
Secretly,
I hate Tom Brady, but only because I want to be Tom Brady. If we're being honest with it, it comes down to and I think that's a lot of why people hate us, right? I think the reason you get haters is like they're looking at what you're doing, right? And they're going, I really want to do that, but I don't have the balls, the money, the desire, the know-how, the whatever it's going to take to step out of my mold and do it. And so they develop a animosity towards you based on the fact that they can't be who you are. Right. That's got to be a little difficult though in like the dating space. Like how does that function when you're out there? You're a single dude, or you got to be.
Well, dating space is a shit show. I need help on that. I don't have a relationship counselor in this office right now for that because I haven't figured that shit out. But dating is definitely different, and you have to be careful a little bit because they see this persona on social media, which honestly, the person you see on social media is me. I don't change.
Always you, right?
I don't change. I am who I am, no matter what. And I'll tell people inside of a listing agreement, I'm like, hey, I'm what you see is what you get. I went to a listing appointment and I smoked pot with the person I didn't even know the day of the listing appointment. We're sitting there in her house, signing paperwork, smoking a bowl. And wait, how does that happen? That's just the way I am.
It's who you are.
Right. Right. And it's friendly, but I'm very honest. I believe in honesty.
I think you're honest to a degree that's maybe too extreme. Sometimes that backfires.
Sometimes it does backfire. So, because I'll tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Right. And sometimes people don't like that. I'm working on two things. I'm working on is making sure I tone some stuff back a little bit, and then organization. So we know that I don't like to show up to meetings on a regular basis.
You're not big on meetings.
No, but I am showing up now. I am committed to the meetings. I'm committed to this part of it because I think part of becoming successful because, all right, cool. I'll probably make $250,000 this year, but I'm not interested in $250,000. I'm interested in timesing that by 10.
7 figures, baby.
Right.
7 figures or bust. Right?
And there's no reason I shouldn't be a 7-figure producer.
100%. And honestly, you need other players on the team. You mentioned I'm not super organized. I'm not super organized. So as soon as you realize that, you got to hire the people or partner with the people that are, right? Thankfully, you've joined up with Sarah McGarry, who's like
the most organized person on earth.
Meticulous, crazy organized, right? She's over the top. But that's a good thing because it keeps us in balance, right? Right. You get to do crazy Matt and do what you're doing. I get to do acquisition Donnie, and we can bring it all back to a hardcore administrator who can take care of the paperwork. And she's also a rock star salesperson, a rock star closer. She's at the top of her game, but she just happens to be good at that angle as well. Right. And you're good at your angle, which is the social media, the group marketing, the general personality thing. And honestly, once people know they're not going off the rumor mill when they get to meet you, they always love you, right? Because in the end, you're the guy that people want to kick it and hang out with because you're just a cool guy to hang out with. But what do you think the future? Facebook is not what it used to be, right? It's not as well trafficked as it once was. Where is social media heading? Where do you see yourself? Let's say Facebook groups stop working for whatever reason. Where would you take your social media presence next?
Well, shoot, I'd be in pretty big trouble if, actually, it's funny. I think it's kind of a group thing between my persona and then the social media group.
It's a combination.
It's kind of a combination. If somebody goes, well, you're not fully ranked on Google yet. I was like, well, first of all, my website's only been going around for a year and I am ranked, but I also am not ranked in the top because it's organic growth. It takes time. But what I win with is I can show those things to individuals that I built and people will support your cause as you basically go through it. So sitting here right now, so I'm looking at moving to Colorado. I'm at the group moving to Colorado. So I have 59 requests today
to get in
today. And some of those are not requests, but here's one. They're moving to Boulder. They want a house. No, that one's a rental, but here's another one. They want to buy a house. Here's your name, phone number, email. So I'm getting to the point where I got to get better about even following up with the amount of leads that I'm getting because it's now getting to the point where it's almost like I need a call center to start dealing inside of these things.
It's a reality that everybody faces because you're on that cycle of growth where you have to get more people and more systems in place. And the initial ask is find people who are already successful, already kind of working down the road and partner with them. You join up with a group. Down the road, you're hiring employees, which are also partners, but it's a different type of partnership because you're paying them a salary, but you definitely are in the people growth phase of this right now. Is that working? Are people attracted to the Matt brand? I mean, I know for certain we worked really hard to get a partnership agreement with you because we saw the possibility of what you're doing, but are you seeing that? Are you seeing people come to you and go, hey, I want to work with you in this capacity or that capacity?
It's kind of funny when, when you have a concept and everything, first of all, everybody thought I was crazy as hell.
100%.
They thought I was there's no way, number one, there's no way you can have this amount of social media groups. What would be any reason for anybody to have that many social media groups? Well, let me tell you why. My face is everywhere. Everywhere. And I literally, every person that I talk to say, oh, I'm part of your stuff. Oh yeah, I love this. I love this. I love this. That's what you want. It's not necessarily, oh, everything's about real estate. I can talk about the market all day long. I mean, I could talk to Donnie about the market. We do talk about the market. I could be sitting on his deck in downtown Tejon. Everybody and their mom, we can talk about the market and 100%. What we're doing in real estate, but we are real estate professionals. Not everybody is. They want to find out where to go eat. They want to ask me questions, and I get, like I said, on a regular basis on my messenger, hey, what'd you think about that OU Texas game? Those are the kind of things that I feel actually bring relationships through social media 100%. Compared to necessarily, they know I'm selling houses. I show that on purpose. I post it on every group when I close houses just to let you know I'm still making money. And it's not for me. No. It's not an ego thing. It's so people know I'm making money.
They know what you do. And it's like, at first they need to know who you are.
Right.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
Have you heard that saying before?
Sure.
And so you're starting with the guise of, I care about other things. One of the things I care about is people, right? But I also care about my Harley Davidson. I also care about my branding and image. I care if you're going through a divorce. I don't need to talk to you about real estate yet. I just joined this group, and I've got other people who are going through a similar thing. So you're connecting people at a very high level at whatever point in life that they are. And then, oh, by the way, I'm a real estate agent.
Right. It's really not. I typically don't ask a lot of, can I sell your house? Can I sell your house? Can I sell? I don't need to. They're going to come to me.
Right.
They're going to come to me regardless of what I do, because, and I pride myself. I pride myself on being honest. I pride myself on taking care of the individual, and stuff like that. I very much care about my clients.
It shows. And I think that's why people come to you at the pace that they come to you at right now. Because
it's getting bigger and bigger.
You're leading in with the, I care about you. And if you want to do business as well, cool.
Right. And what I have inside the microsystem in the business is I can promote anybody's business in this city better than most anybody can, and I can do it for free. So, I scratch your back.
Awesome.
I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And I'm just starting to launch that. Some of the things that we're going to be looking at doing as far as like video content, I want to start interviewing small businesses, having that come out, showing that stuff. I'm actually waiting on 2 pieces to my portable video studio, getting those over to the marketing people. That way these small businesses go, damn, he's not asking me for real estate. He's actually just wanting to promote my business, and he cares about the community, which I very much do. I've been here for 25 years.
Wow. Where did you go to school?
Lewis Palmer High School.
Okay, cool.
I played baseball there, played football, the whole 9 yards. So I am a huge Colorado guy.
I love that.
My kids were born here. Everything is for me. I mean, I've lived in Breckenridge, Denver, Colorado Springs. I took a little bit of a trip because that's just kind of who I am when I was young, and traveled the U.S. and did all kinds of crazy stuff. But what I do, I came right back to Colorado.
I love that. So Lewis Palmer, when I was a kid, I went to Liberty High School, class of 95, go Lancers.
Okay.
But LP, those were the rich kids. Like, is that still the case? I mean,
right. Yeah. So it's still a rich area. I mean, Monument's definitely, I think the average median price in Monument's $755, something like, yeah.
So you grew up in that area, the Monument area?
Right. So it was extreme. So I grew up in Bakersfield, California, which is poverty. It's a hardcore gangs. Bakersfield is where the Serenos and the Norteños meet and do deals and stuff like that. So when I was young, I grew up in basically around that stuff. So all of a sudden my dad, finally hit it, when I was like 13 years old, and we ended up uprooting my entire life from very low income school. We had English as a second language, was a regular class on a regular basis. We had 7 security guards, 3 police officers, and their job was to break up gang fights and break up different things. So that was my original upbringing. Then I get over to Lewis Palmer High School, and I'm like, damn, I ain't never seen no cars like this in the damn driveway. These kids got some shit going on.
Ballers, dude.
Ballers. And I'm talking, the kids are driving Jags and everything. Man. And I'm like, man, this place is different.
Right.
So I went from, some moms being crackheads, prostitutes, different things like that. Bakersfield. And I grew up not only in Bakersfield, I grew up in a subdivision called Oildale, which was a much rougher, just crazy. So I go from this to Monument, Lewis Palmer, where it's straight balling.
Yes.
So I got a quick upbringing into the rich society pretty quickly.
Man, that's a big transition.
Yeah, I got to say it was an adjustment. I didn't do very well. So I got kicked out of Lewis Palmer my first year.
Okay.
So, because I played baseball and I was super good at baseball. So at the North High School in Bakersfield, California, I could do anything I wanted.
Sure.
I literally was failing Spanish. They came up and said, "You're good." Here's a C. Here's a C. Right. So they didn't have that at Lewis Palmer High School. I got booted and then went to Doherty.
Okay.
And then they came and got me back to Lewis Palmer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was trying to stay at Doherty because I was like, well, this is a little more my feel. And, but they wouldn't let me go to varsity because Lewis Palmer said that I didn't live in the district. So they forced me to go back to Lewis Palmer, and I finished out. We ended up number 2 in state, in high school. Yeah. In high school baseball and everything. I batted like 4th and 5th there and all that stuff. Yeah. So we were a good team for sure.
Well, obviously, you know the power of a good team then, right? So is that how you're trying to rebuild yourself in real estate? Is you focusing on the team management now?
So I'm realizing one of the biggest things in real estate is, you know, and there's people that do it on their own and more power to them. That's kind of their whole portfolio. Sure. But even the very successful solo agents have a team around them.
That's right.
So I haven't decided whether I want to put a bunch of real estate agents behind me and see if we can just manpower this. Now, and it is weird. I am getting real estate agents on a regular basis now asking me to work to work for me. It may happen. It may not. I haven't decided yet. There's a lot of headache inside of that.
That's true. Team management's a whole nother full-time job. You know, I manage a team of 12 agents, and it's a ton of work. But the key is if you're already on a team, you just bring them into the team manages them internally.
Right.
You still need self-driven people. Like, you don't want to hire people you have to tell what to do every day.
Hi, this is Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. One of the things we talk about on the show is the importance of great foreclosure data in helping you to find a great deal on a foreclosure property. But where do you find this data? You're certainly not going to find it on Realtor.com. You can't get it on your local MLS. So we have partnered with data provider Foreclosures.com to get you the latest and greatest in foreclosure listings right there in your local market. These properties are not hit the market in most cases. Been foreclosed gives you easy access to find out more detail so you can get the best deal on a foreclosure property. Getting started is super easy. Head on out to foreclosuredealscoach.com and click on the link labeled foreclosure list. Enter your zip code for a free 7-day trial of the best foreclosure listing data available in your local market. These properties are not even on the market yet, so you can get a jump on them and get a great deal. Once again, this is Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. We'll look forward to seeing you there.
So we'll go back to that baseball analogy. In order to have a successful baseball team, you have to have a good solid 5 starting pitchers. Yep. You have to have a good bullpen. You have to have a good closer. Then you have to have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the deepest teams inside the baseball are all the way stacked 1 through 9.
Yep.
So it is imperative. And then they have good pinch hitting. You know, some of the best teams have had good pinch hitters that they can bring off the bench and win the games for them when they need it the most.
Times,
right. And they may have a 350 batting average, stuff like that. So your team, I don't believe anybody, there's just too much work involved in a real estate transaction.
Well, the size we want to be anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I could make $100,000. I mean, I've already done that this year and I'm doing that all by myself.
Right.
You know, and it's only been 6 months in, you know, I'll probably, like I said, $250,000 is going to be very easy this year.
I think so too.
That's going to be, when you have the right team in place, you know, but I couldn't have done that if I didn't have the wholesale connections that I had, the teams I have, you know, those individuals that are buying those properties, everybody's looking for a certain thing inside of what they're buying.
That's right.
So, or selling, you know, and one of the biggest things I've basically been getting is, you know, the social media presence, the fact that I have the wholesale accounts, and now getting at Berkshire Hathaway, I'm now getting the organization, the structure. Fortunately, you know, you and Charles kind of knew what my weaknesses were, and people are starting to structure around my weaknesses, and we all have weaknesses. I don't give a shit who you are.
Everybody's got a weakness, right?
Right. And where I think people make the mistake, and where I made the mistakes is I didn't recognize my weakness.
Sure.
Instead of now I understand my weakness, and now I'm learning how to play to my strengths and finding others to help with the weaknesses.
I love that.
The Sarahs, the Toms, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned again, I just want to cement that again, because you talked about your connections, your partnerships with wholesale and that side of it. One of the reasons we office, so I have Traction Capital, as you know. Traction Capital is office inside the Berkshire Hathaway office here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Okay, so we got an office inside Berkshire. And of course, we could have officed anywhere. Commercial real estate, for a while, dipped to very low levels. We had our pick of the mill in any real estate space we wanted. But I wanted to be in here because I wanted this relationship with agents like yourself under Charles D'Alessio, who's the broker owner here at this one, because I know his philosophy and how he's a little personality himself, right? So Charles got that personality push as well. I'm going to repeat this. You will not be successful in real estate if you do not have a personality. Thank you. One more time. You will not be successful in real estate if you don't have a personality. You gotta have it. Right. So Charles has got a huge personality as well. He's a literal rock star. He's in a band I helped start, but we're not going to head down that road right now.
Right.
But we got, and then we got you, this huge personality. You got Sarah's got huge personality.
Huge.
The Berkshire label is attracting, and now the reason I wanted to be here, because Traction Capital focuses on real estate investment, right? So I wanted to be around a label that also believes in real estate investments. That's where this Berkshire thing works in. We're now talking to other Berkshire offices all across the country. Have you considered national expansion? Doing a Florida office, setting up, getting a license elsewhere, is that in the future, do you think, for you?
It is. So I think I own every Facebook group: Florida, California, Texas, Ohio, Arizona. I own all those. So I also own the URLs inside of all those as well. So step one is a concept model inside of Colorado Springs, proving that it's working, which is already starting to do so. I mean, I'm proving that right in front of everybody's face. I'm doing it in a Dennis Rodman jersey. I do what I do. So that's all of a sudden proven. And let me tell you something. Colorado is one of the hardest markets in the United States.
We are very competitive here compared to looking in Florida to buy our first house down there. It is night and day. The agents aren't even trying down there, bro.
Right.
You and I show up in a market that's pretty much uncontested because we are in one of the most competitive markets in the United States of America. And I'm not just tooting my own horn here. I've got the stats to back it up right now. How are you sustaining in such a competitive market with this Facebook group thing? Why is nobody else trying to compete with you at that level?
I mean, I'm sure there's people that try. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. You know, it's funny. I don't pay. So one of my biggest strengths is marketing, right? Yep. So I don't really watch what others do marketing wise. So I've kind of taken my own way of doing things. Now, granted, I mean, if I see something I like from you got to be a baller agent for me to look at that, and I will look at it if there is that kind of agent, that kind of individual and everything else like that. But for the most part, I know it's a copycat league that we're in, but I don't really pay a lot of attention to the copycatting.
Well, you don't need to because you're your own brand, right?
Right.
I think it was a Jay-Z who said, "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman." Right. And that's the truth. The reality is if you were selling cars, you'd be equally as successful, right? Because your personality is so huge that you could bring in any product into that. That's the first element, is create a brand that could theoretically sell anything or do anything. And if you were a lawyer, you'd be devastating. The judges would hate you and you would be winning cases left and right because you've got a personality type that just attracts people to you. You bring an army with you, right? So the first step is creating that persona, that image, that branding. And I think I really worked on that for multiple years. And it's tough in this town because it is so competitive. But when it's super competitive, that just means a whole lot more haters. Okay. Right. So a lot of people don't want to create the image and branding that you created because it literally paints a target on your back that you got to be ducking people taking shots at you all the time.
I need to get a bullseye poncho. I need a bullseye poncho from this. You can throw darts. So it is funny. So I have a lot of haters, and I know that I have a lot of haters. They blah, blah, blah. He had substance abuse issues 2 years ago, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's what I'm doing right now 100%. That matters. And I can promise you, I care about the community and the people that care about that. They see it, it's fine, and all that good stuff. So you're going to get haters on a regular basis. I think you got haters. I got haters. Laura's got haters.
Laura's got a lot of haters.
Laura and I probably are neck and neck.
Neck and neck. You guys just run a Facebook group for haters.
Right. Real estate agents for haters.
You know what I'm saying? Because Laura's got a lot of haters, but she's vocal about it. Laura, by the way, is my wife, Laura Corm. She doesn't listen to the show, but if she is, honey, I love you. But in the end, the haters are part of the game. And that's the thing I think people really struggle with. If you don't have haters, like you said when we started, you're not doing something right.
I didn't have haters 2 years ago.
Well, that says a lot.
I didn't have any haters. So I had no haters when I was messed up, on a mess, everything else like that. Right. Now all of a sudden I got haters left and right.
Because you're killing it.
Because I'm killing it. Exactly. Right. So they don't like the fact that I'm killing it. Right. And they really don't like the fact that I'm killing it and I'm doing it in a jersey or doing whatever I'm doing.
You're dressing the way you want, showing up on a Harley, all tatted up, being as vocal as you are, cussing. And listen, there's something to be said for the professionalism of the industry, but if that's not selling you houses, if you ain't making money, I don't care how nice your JCPenney suit is. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Right?
I got this from $99.95 at the Men's Warehouse with these plastic ass shoes. Nobody cares. Like that's the thing. You know, and I see this on a regular basis, and people I just don't know. Like when it was a crazy madhouse and all these houses and everything, and I'd show up in a sweatsuit and just getting done with the gym to sell a house and everything else like that, I would notice. I'd be like, I don't even know who you are.
Right.
You know, and
why do you hate me?
Right. Why? I don't even know who you are. I've never met you before. We've never even hung out. And I bet you if we did hang out, you'd end up loving me. And that's usually what happened. Wow, you're actually a cool ass dude. You know,
100%.
you're actually articulate. You know, and like I said, I got lots of suits. I can talk any political thing you want to talk about. I can do that.
You're a chameleon.
Right.
You can be in any environment. You're okay.
Right. And I think that's important for a real estate agent, you know, to do so. I think it's important to, you know, I think one thing is I don't know if you can fake somebody you're not.
I agree with that.
I don't
Not
think
for long anyway.
No, I mean, at some point it's going to come out. I tried it. I was trying. I mean, I remember I got this little headshot. I was sitting there smiling. I had this stupid grin and my nice little suit and everything else like that. I was like, wow, I'm a real estate agent, you know, and I took that whole realtor pledge, the hand on the Bible, all that shit. So crazy shit. I was like, what am I doing with this stupid shit? I don't call myself a real estate agent.
What do you refer to yourself as?
I'm a financial wealth builder for real estate.
I like that.
Yeah. So I build financial wealth for others through real estate. I'm not a realtor. I don't care about the pledges. You're not going to see me with an R. You won't see me with a name tag. And there's a lot of very successful people that 100%. Do so. It's just not me.
It's not who you are.
Right. So
and again, if we get anything from this, we got to wrap up because I want to go because otherwise you and I can do this for hours. But,
right, we can talk for hours for sure.
I think some of the takeaways as we're concluding here is you got to be authentic. You got to be the real deal. Like don't be one person in public for the sake of your real estate license and another one behind closed doors. Be the same person. If your clientele is bothered by the fact that you smoke weed or that you had a problem sometime in your past, they're not your clientele anyway. Right? You don't want to work with those people. And there's enough people who've been through their own stuff and enjoy toking up occasionally, that is probably okay. I know it's unconventional. I know it's weird. Right.
Well, look at Elon Musk.
Thank you.
That dude is
look at all the successes and weird.
Right. Elon Musk is probably the weirdest dude you'd ever meet. He's over there smoking weed, laughing, messing with Twitter people, all that stuff. He does not care what you think.
And he shouldn't because he's a billionaire, number one. And the second, because he's changing the world, right? Money doesn't make you a better person, right? And a lot of times, if you're a bad person, money will make you worse. The reality is you're a good guy anyway, who's now coming into a whole bunch of cash at the same time because you're authentic and you're good at what you do, right? And when it comes down to negotiating for your clients, I'm on the seller side of this, on the houses that I've sold to you, and I'm not going to kid you. You talk about representation of your buyer, you're a royal pain in the ass. Like, there's no way around it. Like, there's a constant stream of, hey, I want this for my buyer, I want that for my buyer, and it's like, it's Matt. Right. I'm going to give you what you want because I want to maintain the relationship, but I know that you're vouching for your client. I know that you're going out of your way to make sure you get the right deal for your people, so you're good at what you do and you're authentic. That's a hard combo to beat, man. People really have trouble getting past those two.
Yeah, yesterday was $10,000 under. I got all closing costs paid. I had $2,000 in renovation expenses. And it's feeling out the deals and everything else like that. And it's just making sure that you take care of your clients. The best part for me is I don't have to. I can lose a house and I don't care. Some of these real estate agents can't lose a house. They're going to beg you to buy that motherfucker.
That's right. If you're only doing 4 houses a year, you got to beg, borrow, and steal. But when you're doing 4 houses a month, like the gauge that you're at right now, it's like, I'll just get the next one. Right. And as a professional and the people who want to work with a guy like you should know, they reach out to Matt. You're getting a guy who's going to go to bat for you, who's going to win every negotiation for you, even if that negotiation with somebody in your internal team, in this case, me, you're still going to vouch for it because in the end, you care about the people that you represent.
Absolutely. Very true.
That's so important. We're going to wrap up on that, Matt. How do people get hold of Matt Moorman? How do they get a piece of all this action? You want to give your phone number, email address? How do people contact you to do a deal with you?
Yeah. Give me a call, 720-323-4344. Look me up, ColoradoRealEstateUS.com.
Love
it. Matt at ColoradoRealEstateUS.com. Give me a call, once again, 720-323-4344.
And we're going going to post all that stuff, including a badass picture of you in this Bulls jersey. You and I got to get a selfie, you and me together with that. Cool. You get that with all of your contact info. Listen, guys, a lot of takeaways from this. I mean, we started as a fine show. You got to get probate. You got to line up these relationships. But if you took anything from today, it's be yourself. Be authentic, and the business will come. If you're a Harley riding, Bulls jersey wearing guy who likes to party and have a good time but prides himself on being a professional too, you can build a whole business around that. Matt is living proof. Another quick takeaway is Facebook groups. The Facebook era is far from over, okay? If you're trying to get started right now, build a community around your interests and the things you want to help out with. You went through a nasty divorce. I certainly did. You use that to build a divorce group. Now you can help people through that, or you're going to turn into clients and people that you can help out, right? But in the end, if you're here in the Colorado Springs market or anywhere in the country for that matter, reach out to Matt Moorman. Learn more about what he's doing. I promise you, he's going to be hip to share what's going on. He's just that much of a giver. This is a huge opportunity to work with a rock star right here in our local Colorado Springs market. And as for the haters, keep watching, baby. Things just get more interesting from here.
Get your popcorn ready, baby.
With that, well, I want to once again, Matt Moorman, thank you so much, brother. Thank you for being on the show today. I really sincerely hope we got to do this more often, man. Will you come back and talk to people?
I'd love to. Yeah, this is fun, man. It's always fun getting with you.
Same, man. Thank you for coming out. Tune in. Check out ForeclosureDealsCoach.com if you want to get started in real estate investing and learn how to build relationships with badass real estate agents like Matt Moorman. Get started in your coaching product. This is what we do. We're creating a community. We're teaching investors to become masters of their field, and we're making a ton of money doing it. Now is the time. The market is here. It's happening. Get on board. This is Donny Corum, your foreclosure deals coach, thanking you so much for tuning in this show. Thanking Matt Moorman once again for being on the show, brother.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. And reminding, will you join us at the camp? We go, don't buy a house, buy a deal. You with me?
I'm with it.
All right. So remember, while you're out there, don't buy a house.
Buy a deal, baby.
Want more of the Foreclosure Deals Coach? Hit subscribe and stay tuned for more of the mindset, methodology, and tools you'll need to invest in foreclosures. Visit ForeclosureDealsCoach.com and text DEAL to get a list of foreclosures in your area.